Fabrizo Romano has provided an update where Mikel Moreno to Arsenal's concerned. Now, where have you heard that before? We've probably seen him tweet about it a million times. It's not quite the here we go, but it is the here we go. And with the greatest of respect to Mr. Romano, he does a great job doing his journalistic work. I'd rather hear it from David Ornstein, who I more like his theme of journalism. Zero talk, really. Articles, things are happening. Apparently, there's an update where Mikel Arteta and his future at Arsenal's concerned, and we're still linked with Chiesa amongst other names, people. As usual, big up you lot for tuning in. There's obviously a reason you're here. Let me share my screen and we'll dig straight into everything, people. Now, Fabrizo Romano has said Mikel Arteta. That's how you say I'm speaking about it. Mikel Moreno on the verge of joining Arsenal as expected. We've heard this every day for the last few months, man. There's TV shows that don't have as many seasons as we've seen with this. You know, we saw the California deal drag out. We're now seeing Mikel Moreno. It wouldn't be Arsenal Football Club if it wasn't people like this. Direct club-to-club talks in London are proceeding very well, and Merino has clearly asked Sociedad to go. Matter of details, and then Merino will become a new Arsenal player. Now, over the last 24 to 48 hours, more so today, we've heard the Sociedad chairman has obviously travelled to London. We've previously heard Edu has gone over to Spain. We heard Mikel Moreno has agreed personal terms. You know, the manager and the technical director and those that make the decision at Sociedad over the weekend spoke about him, and in blunt said he's going to leave and he's going to probably sign for Arsenal and whatnot. He was left out the match day squad, and there are some rumours he's actually training alone. So the move seems like it's taking shape. I, as a selfish Arsenal fan, no disrespect to Mikel, the player, it's nothing to do with you. I want you at the carpet. I don't really care what anyone's got to say now until he's holding this shirt or being toured around the training ground or the stadium. It's long now, isn't it, really? Just get this guy in. Let's get the winger that we need or the inside forward. Small hope for a striker. It's probably not going to happen where Gyökeres is concerned. We're still linked with Osimhen, but that's where Mikel Moreno is concerned, people. Today, you would have seen people tweet, and Ryan Taylor, who obviously works for the Daily and Sunday Mirror, Real Sociedad president Joaquin Amrabat, forgive me for mispronunciations, in London to seal Mikel Moreno deal with Arsenal. Been pushing for a 40 million euro package, 35 million euros plus 5 million extra euros with favorable payment terms, in brackets likely split across 4 installments. Negotiations have proved slow but confident agreement now in sight. And again, that's great. We've heard this kind of language forever. Can we just sign the effing player? Eddie Nketiah apparently is moving closer to signing for Nottingham Forest. David Ornstein, you know, over the last 24 hours has offered 2 updates. Final negotiations underway for Nketiah to Arsenal for a fee believed to be around 30 million. Improved Forest bid has now seen them come close to reaching an agreement with Arsenal. Close does not correlate to an agreement, but that's obviously lovely because for us, we get more money than we would have got from Marseille. Obviously, for Eddie Nketiah, you go to a club where you're going to play. There were some rumours that he wasn't keen on taking a wage cut, which obviously has come to some sort of resolution, or his agent has around that. People can say what they want about Eddie Nketiah and his wages, but in any other working job, very rarely is anyone, you, me, anyone going to go and sign for another company, whatever job you do, for less money. It does not make sense, people. Money makes the world go round, and especially in this living crisis that we're in with inflation. And you know, I went Asda the other day, and you know, what did I think. I'm going so left with this, but I went to Asda the other day. I say the other day, well, it's Wednesday now, Monday. It felt like I had a couple of items, and it was 75 pound 80 pence, people. I was looking like, raw, like this a few years ago would have got me bare things. Like, this is going in a little bag. I was like, boy, you know, you have to buy food or you're going to dead in it. But there you have that. Romano has also said Eddie has just agreed on personal terms with Nottingham Forest as talks to advance into the final stage of Arsenal. Forest are confident to get the deal done. Feyenoord have rejected an offer from Nottingham Forest for Santiago Jimenez, where they've bidded for both of these players where Arsenal and Feyenoord are concerned. You know, and I think we all want the move to go. And I'd actually feel sorry for Eddie Nketiah if this move somehow falls through, because you had the whole Marseille stuff. To see 2 moves, you know, rejected where you obviously want to leave the football club, it would be actually upsetting for him anyways. Deal not done yet, says Alec Crook of TalkSport, but optimism on both sides that Nketiah joins Forest from Arsenal for a fee of around 30 million. So is it safe to say that dependent, it's Wednesday now, could he be left out of the Saturday game, Aston Villa versus Arsenal, if that move doesn't happen by then? I don't know, people. Forest have agreed the framework of a deal with Arsenal to sign the player, says the Telegraph. Negotiations have been complicated by the 25-year-old's wages and contract length at the Emirates Stadium. There are still issues to Nketiah to sort with Arsenal before a deal can proceed. Forest owner, I can't say his name, has held extensive talks with Edu, and a fee is close to being agreed after a breakthrough in talks. Ironically, Edu was apparently wanted by the Forest owner, who owns a couple of clubs, to be the director of football. The Santiago Jimenez thing hasn't worked out. Allegedly, Nketiah has been a long-term target of Forest's ownership, and they've got a couple of British players that haven't cut careers really at the more respectfully at the bigger traditional top six. So we wish him all the best. Ramsdale is someone that could leave. John Cross has said Arsenal also set to loan out Aaron Ramsdale, with Wolves keen on a deal with an option to buy for 25 million next summer. Now you'd imagine there's a sell-on clause, and I know Nketiah, I know Ramsdale has obviously become damaged goods because Rice took his place, but 5 million quid loss for someone that could potentially be in England number one day. Not that Pickford puts a foot wrong really for England. Making a loss is crazy. You know, is he a better player when he walked into Arsenal than when he leaves? I believe so, but you know, it is what it is in that regard. Sources allegedly, Romano said, sources in the industry believe Ramsdale will leave. There's a concrete possibility, which we can all see. Arsenal till now are rejecting plain loans, only loans with obligation or a permanent deal, which provided on if we can agree a move with Wolves. He's been linked with Wolves, Ajax, Bournemouth. We'll have to see, you know, because Arsenal might have to budge on that. You'd imagine Ramsdale's not keen to sit on the bench and be, you know, simply put, Raya's training buddy. You can't even play in the Emirates Cup in this day and age now. From what I'm hearing, club to club between Arsenal and Espanyol is not expected to be a problem. If Ramsdale leaves, Arsenal will be ready with a bid for Juan Garcia. The player has already said yes to Arsenal. That only happens if a deal for Ramsdale is completed. We have seen rumours that Espanyol want his release clause activated, which you see at £21.5 million, or forget about it. I've done a tactical analysis video on Garcia, so go and check that out, people. Allegedly, Mikel Arteta is expected to commit his long-term future to Arsenal soon. Sky Sports understands the relationship between the manager, Edu, and the Kroenke ownership is so strong that formal talks are not seen as necessary. I think they're always necessary in business, because if I'm Mikel Arteta, obviously it's unfinished business at Arsenal. Let's be honest, there's been times where he could have and probably should have been sacked, as much as I like him, at Arsenal, which is something that's not going to happen elsewhere. And for someone who's just really started his managerial career, obviously he's in a unique position where, you know, he's getting a lot of free reign. So it is a relationship of convenience. Cynically, if I'm Mikel Arteta, and if I became available, there's a lot of clubs that would look at me and my work. You're seen as a guide point now as to why managers should be given time at clubs and projects and whatnot. I'm making sure I get paid, if I'm honest. There's been a flowing conversation and there's conviction that the club will be an even greater force in years to come under Arteta's guidance. We hope and pray, people, in that regard. What have we seen here? It doesn't seem like there's anything really here. We know we're not going for Ivan Toney. Charlie Patino has departed the football club as well, people, for 1 million quid, which I know he's got a year left on his deal and he's 20 years of age. But for me, I do think we should have got a bit more. Yes, he's got a year left, but to get 1 million quid for Patino is really unacceptable. Simultaneously, you look at Brooke Norton-Cuffy, who's gone to Genoa and will be playing in a good division in Serie A for 3.5 million. I don't think it's enough. Yes, there's sell-on clauses and all of that stuff. I wish Charlie all the best, you know, after his 2 spells in the Championship, making his Arsenal debut. He is of Spanish descent and holds a Spanish passport. And I do think the way of playing in Spain suits him really. I do believe Deportivo La Coruña have spent a record fee of some sorts in recent years to sign Charlie. A bit like Mika Beref when he left, but we got pennies for Mika Beref, we got pennies for Charlie Patino, pennies for Brooke Norton-Cuffy, because of our laxed approach in the contractual situations around Waters and Koji Drewbury. They've left for free. We need to find a way of bridging that gap from the 21s to the first team. Whether players break into the first team, great, but if not, can we get decent money that can be reinvested? There's no way around it. We can and need to do a lot better. Apparently, Garcia is patiently waiting for Arsenal to find a solution for Aaron Ramsdale. Personal terms have been agreed, but as Romano has said earlier today, Mikel Moreno is the first port of call. Apparently, Garcia is happy to join Arsenal, and Espanyol want his 30 million release clause to be paid and will not engage in other negotiations on the price. He has been linked with Liverpool. He has been previously linked with Real Madrid. Reports in Italy are saying Arsenal are back on the trail of Victor Osimhen. Napoli had started with the intention of demanding his 130 million euros release clause to be paid in full, but is now evaluating the idea of accepting offers of at least 100 million euros, which probably is about what, 80, 90 odd. I don't know if Arsenal deem that value for money. You would imagine that, you know, you could be waiting, but you would imagine Arsenal have, if they genuinely want Osimhen, have spoken to his advisors and know the framework of the contract and probably know what Napoli kind of want in terms of a transfer fee. So I think that one could be put to water, put in to bed and dead in the water. But you never know in this day and age. We've gone over Mikel Arteta. What is this? We've gone over Mikel Arteta. Am I that excited? Is there anything else? We've gone over Eddie Nketiah. Apparently, as we know, people, Mikel Moreno once again is on the verge of signing for the football club. But it seems like, for me anyways, the most impending news concerning Arsenal is either Nketiah departing, or hopefully we wake up tomorrow and Mikel Moreno is an Arsenal player. But on that front and on that note, there is nothing more for me to discuss with you guys. So yeah, with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Check out the rest of the content to come out today, or has come out at this time of making this vid. I did a live stream with She Knows Arsenal, aka Jessica Black, on my channel as well as hers. Obviously, I've just said that, you know, the Espanyol keeper, Garcia, I've done a tactical video on that, and I did a transfer news video before this, people. So yeah, appreciate you lot support. For those watching now and have watched in general, keep making sure you're liking, you're commenting, you're subscribing, boosting the YouTube algorithm. We're trying to get to 70k, people. On that note, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.